Welcome into section 105. Jeremiah Solomon and Mark Haynes, as usual, in the building, ready for another great installment. Mark, how are you? Late as usual, I see.
Yeah, man. Good. Are we starting with by ourselves?
Well, I don't know about by yourself, but I need a little accountability. That's all I'm looking for. You know?
Yeah, I was late. It was my apologies, but it wasn't my fault. We'll talk about it later.
Okay, later. Okay. He's saving it for the by yourself because I think he knows what my cell is at this point.
Oh,
so
I think it's like we got to do it. It's like together. It's like one big buy or sell.
Yeah. All right. Well, I mean, I was gonna sell Tom Brady being in Sacramento, but we'll
GOAT.
Well, yeah. I mean, I like Tom Brady. I'm a Tom Brady fan, but he's out here doing this whole card vault thing or whatever. I don't know.
Have you been by yet?
To the card vault?
Yeah.
No. You
should go buy that Tom Brady card over there.
How much is it?
I don't know.
It's like $1 million card or something?
Yeah. Above my pay grade.
Nah, I'm not selling Tom Brady, but it's nice seeing him in Sacramento.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
But let's NBA trade deadline show. That's basically what this is. Yeah. So we're going to talk NBA trade deadline. You still have not gotten a haircut because the Sacramento Kings have lost 10 straight games. 10 straight games.
And this is not the longest, is it?
This season, I think it is.
Is it? All right, we got this.
I think they had two nines,
something
maybe.
Like that. Yeah.
But this is bad, man. I mean, this is it's a new low for the Kings.
I'm gonna start reaching out to the stylists that do braids and stuff. Cause I might need this, man. Who knows the next time they're gonna win a game? So I might be hitting up all the braiders out there or whatever. Start sending me DMs now. So let's get ready.
Get your calendar full with Mark Haynes.
Braided Mark Haynes.
Yeah, the one who actually does it will get a shout on the next section 105.
Yeah, right.
This, but
or we could pull an Allen Iverson and they could be braiding me up while we were recording.
Yeah, we could definitely do that. We have a whole entourage in here. People giving you vodka.
Yeah, there we go.
Braiding the hair.
There we go.
And,
I like it.
Anything else you want?
I like the vibes. I like it. Sounds good. Section 105.
Yeah, that's right. We're gonna ditch the whole NBA thing. We're just gonna start going braids, lifestyle, culture. You know what I mean? The NBA is a thing of the past for us.
Oh man!
But also All-Star break coming up. Trade deadline is passed. The Sacramento Kings did basically nothing. They traded Keon Ellis and Dennis Schroeder, but beyond that, not much happened. Fans pretty upset. I think pretty justifiably so in certain areas.
Right.
This is a bad team that's clearly at this point pretty much tanking for the top pick.
Mm-hmm.
And you have a lot of, I'm not going to say bad contracts necessarily because really the worst contract you have is probably Zach LaVine, but he's only got a year left after this.
Over next year.
So Domas is making a lot of money, but he's also very productive. Mm. So he might not be what you need to win right now in Sacramento, but he's a productive player. So I wouldn't necessarily say he's a typical bad contract, if you will.
If I'm a Kings fan, I'm not too upset. I think you shouldn't be too upset.
Okay.
Obviously, I kind of thought nothing big was going to happen. I know there's things out there floating around supposedly on the table or whatever, but I didn't think anything major was going to happen. But I will say I didn't think Dennis Schroeder would be the person out the door. I thought it would be somebody else tied with Keon Ellis. But seeing Dennis Schroeder in that deal was kind of a shock. But, you got rid of that contract. You got rid of that contract.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, that's the contract they got themselves into this offseason.
Yeah.
So, they moved off the contract, but he was their guy. I was going through quotes. I wrote a story after Scott Perry's presser when they introduced him, and he was their guy. He's, this is a core guy. This is a guy who fits our pillars, And then to move off him one trade deadline later, and not only that, you have to sweeten the deal with Keon.
Yeah.
That's not a good look. I'm not saying throw in the towel on Scott Perry, but that's not a good initial look for Scott Perry.
No, absolutely. No, that's 100% correct. This was when you're writing a paper, those who write with a number 2 pencil still.
Okay.
Yeah, it just came fresh in my mind. But sometimes you write something down and you gotta erase it. and start over. It doesn't mean you ain't gonna finish with a masterpiece, but you got to erase it. You got to backtrack a little bit. And I think this was, and we're going to see tomorrow in the press conference what Scott has to say about that.
Yeah.
I'm sure multiple media members
I'll
are
ask
going to.
him. I'll be there.
I know you're going to
him,
ask. Yeah, I know you're going to ask. If anybody's going to ask, it's going to be Jeremiah Salmonson. So I know I can depend on you. But he's going to have to answer to that. And just my prediction and me, knowing him the little bit I've gotten to know him, I don't think he's gonna just say I messed up.
No.
He's not gonna say that. But I think what we're gonna get out of his answer is, we seen it wasn't working and we had to go somewhere else, which essentially is my bad. I messed up or whatever. But
which, to be fair, like as a you can't really fault him for that. People make mistakes, and just like us, GMs of teams make mistakes. Heck, owners make mistakes. You can't hold every mistake anyone in any position ever makes. Now, when there's a huge pattern and it's all L's, you can start to write people off a little bit. But that's not the situation with Scott. Like, they needed a point guard. Let's be honest. They did. They needed a point guard. There was a lot of pressure from those in the Kings Kings locker room. We know that.
Yeah.
I mean, I asked Domantas Sabonis after last season what was the biggest need, and he told me in that press conference, we need a point guard. That was after they had shipped De'Aaron Fox out. So look, I understand, like, there wasn't a lot of point guards out there. You sign him, you hope he, can be this stopgap in the interim before you move on to your next core, I guess, for Sacramento. But you had Russell Westbrook out there at any point in time to sign, which they eventually did. But it's like a bunch of people, not just hindsight, but a bunch of people are like, just sign Russ.
Yeah.
And go into the season like that. Yeah. But hey, it doesn't really seem like Keon wanted to be here long term, unless maybe the Kings gave him an astronomical number. I think Dennis, his tenure, his love with the fans might have run its course too already. I don't think he was a fan favorite around here. And look, you kind of just wash your hands of it. They're both gone. Yep. You move on, and
they both will be back here Saturday.
That's true. Dennis and Keon, when the Cavs, really cool. The Cavs come back. So I'm sure Keon will definitely get a nice ovation
for sure.
I'm sure Dennis will too, because Kings fans are classy. So I'm sure he'll get some sort of ovation. Since we're on the Kings, let's talk a little bit DeAndre Hunter. His debut with the Kings, obviously the piece back from that deal. He didn't play great. I mean, he played okay defense. He hit his first shot, that corner three. Yep. But beyond that, didn't look very good. I think he was 3 for 8 on the night. Or no, I think it was worse than that. But anyways, not great, not terrible. I mean, you can't grade a guy on his first game. So, but like, what did you think? Like, what do you think he brings to the Kings? Do you think his size, his athleticism is, ideal, maybe even next season in a Keegan Murray world, that's gonna maybe turn into something, or do you think it's kind of a nothing burger?
And you said it, like you said, it's I don't think it has anything to do with this season. This season is what it is. Yeah. And I think that's the part where, whether it's media, whether it's fans, whether it's, people who want the Kings to do better. Yeah. Like, everybody's like, this trade deadline is for this year. Everything is about this year. Well, why are the young guys playing now and closing the lineups, blah, blah, blah. This is a rebuild. This is a part of what rebuilding looks like. You got to see what you got out there, especially with the young guys or whatever. And DeAndre Hunter is in a position where this is his opportunity to prove that he belongs in the Kings' future. Like, I don't think this is because what he has, another year after this or whatever. Another year after this. So it's not like a long-term commitment or anything. No. So this is put up or shut up, basically. Yeah. Or whatever. And that's all I see it as. And there's a ton of people that had, interest in him or thinking he's going to be this or he is this or whatever, whatnot. That's why he's getting paid the money he's getting. But I think it's a short-term tryout.
Yeah,
and especially this season with the team, with Keegan Murray being out, with the team not being good, he's gonna get plenty of opportunities to show that he belongs, and maybe he fits in the future, maybe he don't.
Yeah, I think that's fair. And we talked to him at practice a couple days ago. It seems like a really nice guy. I think he'll fit into the Kings organization well because, and I say this every once in a while, I think it's been a lot of negative around the Kings the last couple of years, right? But one thing I do want to stress about the Kings, and this is top to bottom, you can say what you will about Vivek Ranadive, his family, and maybe some of the certain personal things you don't love about the way that that's structured and operated, okay? That's fine. But top to bottom, the Kings organization, really good people for the most part. Yeah. The people that work in the media, the people that work in their digital department, the ushers, the training staff, the coaches, a lot of good people in the Sacramento Kings organization. I hold a lot of them to high regard and high esteem. And I think, like a Harrison Barnes type, fit like a glove in Sacramento because a lot of the people around the team were of people with high integrity, good people you want to share a drink with type people in the Kings organization. And I think, to Scott Perry's point and Doug Christie's point, they're trying to build that identity around the 6 pillars. And in that sense, I think DeAndre is going to fit really well.
Right.
Kind of like a Harrison Barnes type, honestly. I mean, like, when you think about his game and maybe what he'll bring to the Kings, a lot like Harrison Barnes type, you know? And so I'm happy he's here. I think Kings fans will enjoy seeing if he does fit into the future plans for them. But yeah, at this point, it's like the Kings have so many question marks going into these next couple seasons. Like, everything has to hit for them. Like, it really does. Like, they've got to get a top 2 pick this year, or top 3. I mean, really, they need the number 1 pick.
Yeah.
They need AJ. Like,
that would be so much pressure to get the number 1 pick, because let's say you draft AJ and then Peterson turns into Cade Cunningham, but you know
what it won't be? It won't be Marvin Bagley, Luka Doncic.
I definitely won't.
Because everyone's saying AJ's the number 1 pick.
Yeah.
When the Kings drafted Marvin, almost no one agreed with that pick. Like, there were some, and this isn't I'm not trying to dog on Marvin Bagley here.
That's just saying, like, a little bit.
No, I'm just saying, like, people and honestly, I think the pressure Marvin had to go through in Sacramento probably didn't help his career. Let's be honest. So, like, I mean, he was like, okay, be the savior next to Fox to take this team out of, purgatory.
Yeah.
And turned out that was Domas that ended up doing that with De'Aaron Fox and returning the Kings to playoffs.
Yep.
But, I mean, everything's got to hit for the Kings these next couple years. They're not in a good spot. They've got to hit on draft picks. They have contracts that they're probably not going to be able to move for assets. Now, granted, none of them are super long-term. Right. They're going to fall off the books. DeMar's fine. His deal's fine. It's only partially guaranteed. Zach's a crazy overpay for next season, but, it is what it is. It falls off. It falls off the books. You've got DeAndre falling off in a year or so. Like, you have flexibility. Keegan is, I think, the longest signed player right now. Like, I think his contract is the longest on the Kings books. So the Kings they've got a lot of question marks, and Scott Perry's got a heck of a job in front of him for this next year or two. And if there's anyone I think up to the task, it's a guy like Scott. But man, he
has his work cut out for him.
He's got his work cut out for him. And at the end of the day, he's got to come through because that's what he's getting paid the big bucks to do. And we can't have another trade deadline like this next year where it's like, okay, Kings stood pat. They didn't do much
unless you're good.
But you won't be. You won't be good. I mean, there's just no world in which they're good, right? They're the worst team in basketball this year.
We can't give them a little hope, man.
There is no hope. I'm a realist, man, and I try to be real with Kings fans. Like, the hope is in a good draft pick.
Yeah, I agree with you.
There is no hope beyond that. With the way the CBA works, these contracts, older players, great players, Hall of Fame players, but there is no hope in the future of Kings basketball that is not in the draft. Okay, you're telling me, and this is a perfect segue, you're telling me Giannis Antetokounmpo is going to sign with the Kings in free agency?
Maybe that's what Giannis was waiting on.
Well, maybe.
Maybe that was the trade that was going to happen. He was like, if the Kings don't call, I'm not going anywhere.
Well,
but
I'm
if
sure
the Kings
called.
I'm out there.
I'm sure the Kings called, but they can't offer much.
You know,
what, Domas and Devin Carter? Who says no? Domas, Devin Carter for Giannis. Who says no?
I'm just trying. I'm trying Sacramento.
Did you see Doc Rivers today? His press
hilarious.
conference. He's like, because Shams is participating in the Celebrity All-Star game, and Giannis is coaching it. And Doc, if you haven't seen it, go check it out. Doc made this great joke. And he said something along the lines, Giannis is making Shams available for trade. You know, he's listening to offers. That's great. But
he should have said we're going to waive him if we can't trade him.
That's great. But the whole Giannis saga, like the Warriors missed out big time. And your brother reported on this earlier today. Chris Haynes reported that sources told him that Giannis never requested a trade. That's what sources were telling him. And I think it speaks a lot about Giannis and his character, if indeed that's true. And it was never messy. Like, Giannis wasn't out there being messy about it. I mean, he said his little things here and there.
Right.
But the Warriors, from the sounds of it, they put together a pretty hefty haul. And do you think that the Warriors being so open about kind of low-key courting him, trying to get him maybe in free agency, put a bad taste in the Bucks' mouth where they're like anywhere but Golden State?
That could be very true. Like, what's weird about, you know, free agency, deadline, and things of that nature is like, now we all hear about what's going on, you know, before it happens or whatever. So, like, you kind of get an idea of, you know, what this team is trying to do, what that team is trying to do. And then, you know, if I'm an opposing GM and you want my guy, I know how valuable Giannis Antetokounmpo is.
Yeah,
I know.
Of course. Yeah.
So I know what that means. If I give the Warriors Giannis, then you guys potentially are winning a chip this year if he's on that team. You're at least competing for a championship.
You got to flip pods for someone productive, but yeah.
I know that's what I'm giving you. So if I know that's what I'm giving you, because I want to win a championship too.
Yeah. You
got to give me your future. You got to give me this. You have to give me everything I want if you want this guy.
And you know, that's a really good. I had a deep dive discussion with Chris Watkins about this yesterday, and we were talking about, to that exact point, if you're the Bucks and you're trading the Warriors Giannis, but take any team. You're trading the Lakers Giannis.
Any team.
Take any team.
I need everything.
But this is the problem. You need a guy back, a centerpiece in the deal that you think could be part of your future. In my mind, the best one on the table was Kuminga or maybe AR. If you go to if you trade him to the Lakers, maybe you get AR back, and then it's going to be a haul of first-round picks, right? But the problem is, if you're trading Giannis to the Warriors or the Lakers with Luka and LeBron, they're at least a playoff team. Now, maybe they're not top 3, but they're a playoff team. Either of those teams.
Right.
So what are those picks even going to be worth? So if that's the case, you need a guy back. And my thing is the upside of Jonathan Kuminga.
But the reason why I'm okay with that, if it's those two good examples, or if it maybe not so much the Lakers, but with the Warriors, Steph Curry is 36, 37 years old. Draymond, 35, 36.
Yeah, but Giannis isn't that old.
No, he isn't that old.
And Giannis
you still need, that's what we're seeing in Milwaukee. Giannis still need guys around him. He still need good players around him.
Of course.
And when Steph retires, when Draymond retires or whatever, what do we see with the Warriors? Because they're not having any more draft picks or whatever.
Yeah, but at the same time, like it's a Lacob run organization. They're gonna be competitive. Like the Warriors,
I don't know.
The Warriors have vaulted.
After Steph Curry,
do you disagree that the Warriors, with this dynasty that they had built, and the dynasty's definitely over, but like with the dynasty they had built, and the success they had, and the stability they had with Steve Kerr, who, by the way, probably should get fired next year. Do you not think that they've vaulted themselves as an organization into a Celtics, Lakers category as an organization? And those teams are expected to be good.
Yeah.
So I don't think the Warriors, unless they're deliberately tanking, I don't think you're going to see these lean times like you did pre-dynasty Warriors.
Well, you look at it this way. Like, let's say right now, obviously Giannis isn't on the team. What are the Warriors going to look like when Steph and Draymond is gone? Steph specifically.
Who knows? But they'll be something. They'll look like something.
But I don't know. I don't know if I believe it just happens with. I think it happens with Steph. Like, you have to. I think.
Okay.
Like, how they had Jonathan Kuminga, they had Jordan Poole or whatever. They were kind of grooming them into a position to take over.
All right.
Yeah, that's why.
All right, Epstein. We got Mark Epstein Haynes over here. You in the files? You in the latest drop? Crazy work.
They were molding them.
Molding. Man. Cash, I'm not part of this. DOJ, I'm innocent. I'm not part of this. But yeah, to your point, I understand your point.
But they had it set where it looked like it was going to keep going. Now, when I'm looking at what's after, the dynasty was after the Steph Curry era, I see them starting over.
What do you mean? They have Brandon Pajemski. Brandon Pajemski is going to be better than Steph Curry. What are you thinking?
I felt that disrespect coming.
I'm glad because I wanted it to come. I wanted it to ooze through the microphone.
Because when you first said it, I was like, am I missing somebody? And I was like, I know who he's talking about. He's talking about Goat Pajemski.
Goat Pajemski, bro.
The greatest shooter of all time to be.
And so that's fair. I get it. But like, this is sports. It's a young man's game. Like, if you look at, I believe, like, there was a stat put out there. I think it's like 60% of NBA points these days are being scored by guys between 20 and 26 years old or something, or 40% of the points. It's a young man's game. So people are going to be coming through the pipeline.
True.
They're going to get guys. You know what I mean?
And speaking of young men and scoring 44 points last night. My guy, Trey Murphy III.
Okay, it's our guy now.
Yeah, our guy.
He was your guy initially, but I am the biggest fan. I am like, if there's a guy in the league whose autograph I want, it's Trey Murphy.
Oh, there you go.
I love his game, and he's a hooper. He's a hooper, and I love it.
He's a hooper.
I'm the biggest fan of Trey Murphy. But man, he gone off. What did he do?
There we go. 44 points, 12 of 19 from 3, which is crazy.
Crazy.
Yeah, that's insane or whatever.
Crazy
career
work.
high franchise record. But to your point,
ding.
young guys are scoring the rock.
Yeah, and it's like, I get it. Like the Warriors might not have the best draft picks, blah blah blah.
I'm just curious. Like,
we've moved into a new era of the NBA. I don't know what to think necessarily because you've got the Spurs, the Thunder, draft picks, young guys, very shrewd move to get De'Aaron Fox. The Spurs De'Aaron Fox pickup. I'm sorry, but it's one of the more advantageous and opportunistic moves that a franchise has made in a while.
Yeah.
And I understand I'm a De'Aaron Fox guy. I watched him play his whole career here in Sacramento, covering him. But to get that type of player and not give up any of your future,
no assets,
no Stephon Castle,
you draft Dylan Harper, they're studs.
Sneaky organization, and now the prolific young player of our generation, Wemby, the potentially better version of Jokic, which is crazy to say, but is now in their fold, right? So it's like, who knows? Like, can you even be a championship level team anymore if you're not building your organization like this? Which does that mean? It's, in my opinion, it's like hockey. In hockey, to be good, you really got to go through lean years because their way their salary cap works and stuff. It's tough to build a good team out of free agency. You can supplement it, but you really got to get guys in the draft. And is that what the NBA is turning into? Like it used to be free agency, fire sales, people getting traded, super teams being assembled, KD going to South Beach or LeBron going to South Beach, KD going to the Warriors. Is that a thing anymore? Or do you have to suck for 3, 4, 5 years, hit on draft picks,
and have draft
and
picks,
it be a cycle? So you're good for 7, 8, 10 years. You're bad for 5 years. Is that the way the new NBA is going to work?
That's what it's looking like, because when you think about it, what was the last trade that won a chip? Was it KD?
Yeah, big one, yeah.
You know, so these big trades that we see or not seeing anymore or whatever, because we seen to this year, I would say the biggest trade that has the opportunity to win is probably the James Harden to the Cleveland Cavaliers trade. Yeah. Cleveland also bringing in Dennis Schroeder and Keon Ellis.
Yeah.
I think they did a few other little tweaks too.
They were active. They were outside for sure.
So if let's say they won or went to the chip, they would be that team that said, no, we're still going to figure out how to trade or whatever and do that. Yeah. But other than that, it's turning into you have to draft.
But look at the Lakers, man. And this is no disrespect to Lakers fan. I like Luke, I like Bron, I like AR. I'm not a Laker hater, but they're not winning a chip.
Yeah, no,
anytime soon.
When you say all those names or whatever, I'm the biggest LeBron guy or whatever. But when you say all those names and you say them together, the first thing you think is so what?
Literally.
Who cares?
Literally.
Because you look at when you hear those names and you talk about, so there is, when you look at OKC, obviously there's SGA. He's the MVP or whatever, whatnot. But when I think about OKC, he's not the only person I think about.
Yeah.
And I think about the floods of these random guys that pop up and produce or whatever. J-Dub, Chet, first-time All-Star. Shout out to him. But it's so many dudes or whatever. Then they just traded for Jared McCain.
Yeah, I saw that. And I was talking with some Sixers fans. They're hot. They're heated. Because that's just a move to get under the tax.
Yeah.
That's you trading, and I understand they to keep their sixth man.
Yeah,
I don't know, man. To give up that type of talent,
dude. And Jared can ball.
He can ball, and he's a TikTok star.
Yeah.
I mean, you're giving up a TikTok star, a guy who can hoop.
You're giving up defending champs.
To the defending champs,
who still got 50 first-round picks coming.
Yeah. Did you see today their latest projections is the Thunder will have a top 6 pick this year? That's the latest projection because they own that pick. Multiple picks.
They're going to get Caleb Wilson or something crazy.
And he'll turn out to be the number 1 guy in the draft. And he'll be the successor to Shea. Because as Shea phases out in his 30s, you got a 20-year-old guy coming up.
It's going to be some. Yeah, this.
I mean, Shea's not even that old. He's 27.
Nah,
but it's
he has another 10 years.
Well, I don't know about that. He's probably got 5 more really productive years. Let's be honest. But
I mean,
these athletes, man. I mean,
they're lasting.
But they're not all LeBron. They're not all LeBron.
Harden's 35?
Yeah, but he's also a bit of a unicorn. But his game's also taken a huge step back over the last few years.
Just saying, man.
KD, LeBron, Steph. These guys are unicorns.
Or are they the new wave of old guys?
I don't think so. I think there's going to be guys that age terribly.
Yeah. Man. This is
it's a transition. The league is going through a full-on transition.
I'm in shambles here. It's really hard thinking about it. Because these dudes are really old.
They are.
And they're really, really good.
They are. They are really good, but none of them are in chip contention.
None of them are in chip.
Maybe James Harden. And
we have to see.
Maybe Houston, you could say, but they're probably on the outside of that bubble looking in.
Cleveland, they got James Harden, Donovan Mitchell, Evan Mobley still.
Yeah. They're a good team.
That's going to be good.
But you saw what happened to them last year.
Yeah.
They fizzled out late.
And Harden has a history of fizzling out in the playoffs. So.
You were expecting this big burst into the playoffs, and it was more like it's like the election, whatever, in 2020. Everyone's talking about the red wave or whatever, and they were calling it the red dribble or whatever. It's Is that what you're going to see again with the Cavs this year? It's like, who knows? And it's just like you're staring down the barrel of the Wemby, Chet, SGA, J-Dub, and OKC.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got I don't know, man. This is if you're a guy in your 30s, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like, this is maybe your last real chance, like James Harden. This is probably his last real shot at a chip.
Yep.
Do you have confidence against these teams? Like, you're looking at teams with guys in their early 20s. The whole team is in their early 20s, and you're going to have to compete in a 7-game series with them in your mid to late 30s.
I think,
like,
yes.
You're confident in that. Even after, like, OKC's a battle-tested team. They're a chip-winning team. This isn't like young, they've got to learn it. No, they've been past that. They've done it. They had a parade in Oklahoma City. Like, I don't know. Confident. That would scare me as a 35-year-old hooper.
I would be confident because, like you said, this is his last hurrah. He has to get it done with this group. There's not going to be another trade or another free agency where you could get to a team that could be a contender. You're in the Eastern Conference. You have a chance in the East to make it to the finals because there's nobody in the East that just stands out completely. You're one of the top guys. But
Tyrese is hurt.
I'm 35 years old. I'm the point guard of this team. I got Donovan. Like, that's how I envision.
It's gonna be fun to watch that team.
I got a bunch of young dogs behind me. I have 2 amazing defenders behind me. So, like, when I slack and I'm swiping at, defenders or whatever, I'm like, I'm confident that if you get by me, you got to meet Evan Mobley. You got to meet Jared Allen. You got people to deal with.
Jared Allen underrated.
Yeah, super
underrated. He has been since his Brooklyn days.
Yeah, super. Yeah. I think it's just because he got the afro. The
You're about there too.
Yeah, I'm about to. Yeah, I'm about to go figure out who his stylist is. But no, I think that gives you a lot of confidence when you're an older guy, and I think Cleveland is going to be scary, and I can't wait to see them on Saturday.
Yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun. Saturday, Golden One Center, the Sacramento Kings, and the Cleveland Cavaliers. Well, let's move into our buy or sell segment, Mark Haynes. And I'll start because I got to get this off my chest.
Get it.
Before, look, I'm a gracious guy, I think, in general. I'm typically not like this. This is going to be out of character. But, Mark, I need some hand-up accountability on this situation with you showing. We have our pod scheduled, and he'll be an hour late, and he'll be like, I'm on my way. And I'm like, what do you mean you're on? I've been here slaving away at these controls and cameras, and Mark will be like, I'm on my way. And then he shows up with a Red Bull. And he's like, I stopped at the gas station. I had to pay. Man, where's the hand up? I'm selling Mark Haynes and his lateness to our pods. Can I get some accountability here? What do we have to say today?
I'm selling accountability today.
Okay.
That's
breaking news. Mark Haynes sells accountability.
Today, I'm selling the Wendy's and the Thomas. I sat in line.
You're selling the girl Wendy.
No, what's her last name? But Wendy's and the Thomas. And the Thomas. I sat in line and I was stuck. Like, you go through a drive-through every time. And it's 3 cars in front of me. No biggie. I was like, I got time. I can get food and then I'll get to the studio. I'll still beat Jeremiah. I'll be there. That's been my goal. He's lying. I won a few this year.
One time you were here early, but that's only because I showed up late thinking you were going to be late.
Who fault was that?
You were on time.
Who fault was that?
For once.
But anyways, I'm getting in line. I'm like, I got plenty of time. It's 3 cars ahead. I can't get to where I order. So I'm like right in between like being able to order and like out of range. And I'm there for like 5 minutes in time, and I'm not even thinking. I'm just sitting diddling around on my phone, and I realize like 5 minutes has gone by. So now I'm getting ready to leave, and as I'm getting ready to leave, I'm back out, Here comes the truck pulling right behind me. So I'm stuck. And I'm like, all right, well, we'll get this going. So I text him. It's, 7:39 or whatever, 7:39.
And, okay, keep in mind, he was supposed to be here at 7:45, and it's 7:40. He's in a Wendy's drive-thru, and he has to go home before the studio. This is so
Maybe
shocked.
I was there. Maybe I was there 15 minutes. Like I said, I was diddling around in my phone, and I realized the time, and I'm like, "Yo, I'm stuck in Wendy's." And I didn't know that I meant it literally. I know that I was really stuck there. I did not get out of that line until 8:05. Right?
It's a tough scene. That's a tough scene.
So I ordered the food, and I had it planned too, cause I'm just in the car. I'm furious. I'm burning up. I'm in the car, and it's 2 windows too. They take your money there at the first one. So I didn't pull up. I stayed. I stayed back, just like they kept me back from ordering my food on time.
And Black History Month of all months,
all
too.
months.
That's crazy.
And I'm in all black.
Crazy
Black-owned business right here, Cuzzo Brand. But I waited till the guy in front of me left, and I just drove straight through. I ordered my food on the thing. I ain't pay for it. I ain't take it, so I ain't steal. But I just drove off and left. And I hope I caused a little ruckus in there or whatever, because 20 minutes in line was ridiculous. And that's why he beat me. I would beat you today. But I'm still selling accountability. But next episode,
I mean,
I
Wendy's,
will be
I
here.
think we'll post that clip, and I'll tag Wendy's. Wendy's,
Yeah.
I need a response from Wendy. Like, what does Wendy have to say for herself? I mean, making Mark Haynes and his family wait on dinner is crazy work.
During Black History Month.
Black History Month and all.
You know what I think?
I mean, if I was sitting in line, feel free. You can just take an hour. But
I know what it is. I know what it is.
They should have rolled out the red carpet for Mark Haynes.
It was a black SUV at the front.
Probably like $300 worth of food.
But you know who was in town? You mentioned him earlier.
It was Tom Brady.
I think it was Tom Brady.
Stopped
at Wendy's on his way to the airport.
I think so, because we all know
that's why I'm late.
Tom Brady eats so much fried food. Tom Brady is such a pinnacle of unhealthy eating. Of course he went to Wendy's and bought the store out.
I would have been here if Tom Brady wasn't in town. That's all it was.
I think sources say Tom Brady ate a lot of food at Wendy's and caused Mark Haynes to be late.
And he probably took it on his private jet.
Probably.
You know I'm right there by the airport.
You know he's not driving from Sacramento to San Francisco for the Super Bowl.
No.
He's absolutely taking the jet
from
SAC executive straight over to San Jose.
So we selling Tom Brady.
All right, that's fair. Are we selling Tom Brady, Wendy's, accountability, Mark Haynes? Everyone's being sold today on a crazy episode of Section 105 Podcast. Thank you for joining. Smash the subscribe button, the like button, share this video, comment what your thoughts on the NBA trade deadline and everything, and we'll be back with another episode soon.